So you need to understand that the market of estate agency is single most important thing is advertising. So we as estate agents exist in the business just because we are allowed to advertise. If you look at the act itself, the section 22B, and it says that you are allowed to carry out the job, pour out to public and then promote for sales, for rent, for looking for property, and also to make known and then tenancy administration. So this is 22B, subsection 1A. So the reason of existing practice of a estate agent is in fact to advertise, to hold out to public, to get a customer for the property that he represents. So you, in fact, faced with the two major things that you need to do, which is to work on end users, to get users, to get the prospects, and then to work on the advertising methods to gain more prospects. So these are the two basic things that the estate agent need to do lah. So you can look at this from the end that advertising need to be done as a tech agency, not just as a simple one banner thing. So tech agency, in fact, is not new. We are, in effect, saying that we need to have a user-directed website, which is a website that look into what user wants. And then we have also another way of looking at being widespread to say users of these agencies data actually would know that how is the region compared to the rest of the area lah. So that means regionally you understand that this area of cost of pricing of the products or the properties compares to the rest of the region. So at the end, for an investor to buy a certain property, he needs to know how much he is paying for this compared to his other previous investments. And third is that we need to harness the small agencies and medium agencies to come together to work on a united front. So this is three aspects that I personally feel we can move forward to head on collide with the forces that is against the profession. Because in advertisement or advertising, the competition is on the left hand side. Individual websites won't be seen. If you have your own website, very unlikely people will go to your own website. You need to have user-directed website whereby everyone become an advertiser in your website, and their own people will go and see their listing, and therefore people will come to this particular website. An individual estate agent's website is very hard to maintain in the future for the fact that so there are so many similar Me Too listings. So people wouldn't likely come to your listing unless your listing is a supermarket or all the others. That means they come to one place and then they are able to see everything that is listed for that area. So this is achievable by a third-party website, which is like iProperty or Property Guru or Muda.my. However, these websites are actually charging a fee, and every agency need to come up with a cost to maintain the advertising. So for the long term, this will be an endless expense. So at the end, why is it that you want to pay so much money forever and unable to control this particular advertising pathway? So may as well small and medium agencies work together and have their own similar third-party website, and this similar third-party websites would be likely their platform for them to showcase their listings instead of relying on a third-party website, which they have no way of knowing how much they're going to charge in the future. Because as an individual, it would not be able to overcome this issue, because big advertising firms they will give special deals to big agency firms for putting their advertisement there. So end up your advertisement would be pushed down by these big agencies, and end up that people going to this website won't even notice small agency listings in their seas, or in their crowd of agents advertising. Phones and also WhatsApp won't also be seen, because you only have a way of engaging your own customers. That is anywhere your own circle of customers, and it doesn't actually get you a new customer. It would only be circulating among your own list of customers. In the where I would just like to summarize, we are just too insignificant in the future for when all these online systems come about. And in fact, we are already insignificant now. You can see that you are nobody in the area of World Wide Web, where everyone is the same, and you do not actually have an advantage because you started 10 years ago. In front of everybody in today's world of internet, everybody just started yesterday. You are similar to a new guy that is coming to the platform tomorrow. So there is no such thing as you are better off or he is better off, because we are all equal. In front of the customer, in front of your Facebook, you are occupying the same space and the same uh, flick of a finger. So how do you advertise in the future? Because the market will be crowded with advertisement by big firms, big developers, agency firms also flood the advertisement. So it ends up that you do not have a niche, you do not have a special strategy on ongoing. In the future, you will be insignificant. So you can actually come to two types of trends. One is that just a hit and run type of agent. So this agent will take all the advantages and then hit and run. And then end up that is get the seller, and then the seller trusted him. So therefore he maintained a good listing, and therefore he got a customer and closed a deal, make his money, and then that's it. He has no repeat sales, because hit and run case, likely the two parties, that means the principal party and the third party, both are probably not in the same level of arm's length, because the probably the third party who bought it as a higher price, because it's just that he is in the sense being conned to do it once in a lifetime lah. So second is trend number two, is that you are a good agent and you maintain good reputation. You do things correctly, but then you have a lot of competitors out there who actually say that it take too long. It's just too long time for things get done, and therefore you actually don't close cases so fast, because you maintain good standing. But then, because good standing, everything is transparent, your customers tends to in fact feel that they are not getting their deals to their advantage, because everything is transparent, and therefore you end up having close slow cases and then poor income for yourself. People at the end also wouldn't appreciate, because yeah, you did a good job, you did this and you did that according to the law, but then end up that I don't get things done my way, therefore you end up being blamed also. So in the sense, you have this issue ongoing, in a sense, out of maybe 90 or 80% of your customer, they say that you are just an ordinary agent. There is nothing more that you have done for them. And this is a problem as in a human behavior. And if you can see, a lot of people are unable to sustain in the area of sales, because no matter how good you are, there will be customers who say they need more better agent. So my proposal in our group for contract to you is to give four key survival elements. So these four key survival elements are: number one, advertisement, because we are supposed to be selling for people, and therefore we need to put up advertisement. We need to maintain low cost and low maintenance website, and therefore we need to work together So maybe this will be in more detail later lah. Second is management. We need to have flat and empowered type of management system when there is no team leader, because in the agency practice there is a lot of time people become a team leader, and the team leader cuts a certain percentage out from the commission. So if there is no team leader, everybody is a team leader, then everyone is the same and you operate on your own area. Third survival element is that we have to have working unity among small agencies, because small agencies, if you do not work together, you would be in the sea of others. You will be covered up insignificant by the big guns and the big guys. So unity and congruence among the small players in geographically dispersed small areas would need to work together. Geographical division, they should not be cannibalizing each other lah, because big agency would end up having issue of listing repeated by similar group, or maybe one two agents actually are cannibalizing each other. So when they cannibalize each other, then they will end up not happy. So they are end up not happy, then they end up spoiling the reputation of the agency. So a good real estate listing website must be easy to pause, and then also map incorporated, value incorporated, because people come to your website, people want to actually get some value of it lah, not just like simple listing. Easy to contact the list owners. That means when I see a good listing, I can easily contact the person. Not that the person say, "Oh, I'm not free," and then you need to talk to another person. So no interference from website operator. Like let's say you have a conflict of interest because this is an agency website. Agent A put inside the agent B's website. Definitely, the agent B would be having a conflict of interest. He wants to protect agents B's own listing rather than helping out with agent A's listing. So contract to you is in the way going in this direction. So it's a user-directed website front-end pause. It enables each and everyone to pause it on the front end without having to learn how to do coding or how to do website building. So it is easy to pause because it is just filling up some questions and then you actually have your pause being generated. And it has a index calculation which is unique of itself. There is no other website in the whole world that does this for index calculation. So the details of it, you can actually follow my other video presentation on contract2u.com, the IPIS, IPIR, and IPIE. And at the end of the calculation, there will be a grading and ranking of listing, so that to allow users to in fact rank listing like a university ranking. So there are university which are high rank, there are university medium rank, and then there are some universities which are lower rank. So of course the higher rank universities are of course more expensive, but they are better university with facilities and also research reputations. So it's the same thing. Property, you have higher price properties, but then they are also in a more prime area and probably higher chance of getting sold rather than buying a property which is at lower cost but then at lower prime area, or having problem of accessibility. So all these ranking would be able to give an idea of where about the standing of these listings. Is map incorporated? Then basically you can choose your listing from the map, and it is not by any agency. This is done by a third-party company which runs this as a professional advertising agency. So it is not itself a estate agent, so it doesn't actually favor whoever's listing. Ownership will be yours in the future, because at the end, this estate agency who are coming on board with this contract to you would be invited in the future to contribute and become part of the company of operating this this platform. So at the end, we cannot be accepting everybody to join. So end up that one day it may be a few among an area, and then a consensus would be worked out for accepting a new member to the funding of this website. So the timeline for this in the next year would be deployment, and then we go live. The future of this will be regional adaptation and also other product types which we can incorporate for the advertising. So in fact, property is one. Maybe some downstream activities can be incorporated, like renovation, and also target on maybe troubleshooting. Our team comes from a few areas like legal, agency sales, information technology, and also research. So this company would move on with these four main areas, with the emphasis on information technology management and market research, so that we have more product types in the future. Thank you very much. I am Thomas Sim. I'm a practicing probationary estate agent. My number is as display, and you can contact me through these few websites. Thank you very much for listening to this presentation.